Welcome to another episode of Ecom Experiences, a podcast for e-commerce marketing leaders who want to grow and scale their brands faster. Join us as we interview some of the smartest brand founders and marketing leaders in the industry. Explore the lessons they learned, discover the keys to their success, and discuss what excites them most about the future.
Hi, it's Samir Balwani here, host of Ecom Experiences, where we talk to brand founders and marketing leaders about their experiences growing brands. This episode is brought to you by QRY. QRY is an e-commerce marketing agency designed for driving predictable and profitable growth. We create and execute full funnel paid media campaigns that help high growth e-commerce brands deliver consistent results. To learn more about how we can help you, visit weareqry.com. Today I have a special episode. Today, we have Chad Franzen here from Rise25, who's done thousands of interviews with successful entrepreneurs and CEOs. Kind of flipped the script today. He's going to be interviewing me. Nice to have you here, Chad.
Hey, thanks so much, Samir. Great to be here. Hey, let's talk a little bit more about QRY. I was just talking to you, and you said it was 5 years old. What had you been doing up to the point when you decided to start it? And then why did you decide to start it?
Yeah, so I've been in marketing for a pretty long time. I kind of fell in love with it and haven't turned back. So before starting QRY, I was actually helping manage brand strategy at American Express, which was an awesome opportunity. And it was great to be a part of a truly, household name and then have the ability to impact such a great company. It was there that I realized that a lot of the best brands have true subject matter experts in each one of those, core competencies in marketing. And so when I was there, I learned a lot about how to run really great paid campaigns, everything from how to measure it to what the channel mixes need to be to how to even just budget for it and plan for it effectively. And what I realized is a lot of mid-market brands don't have the rigor and forecasting foresight to be able to implement a lot of those things. And especially in the e-commerce world, a lot of the brands would be using full-service agencies, agencies that do everything for you. And the reality of the situation is they may do everything for you, but they don't do it great. And so there's definitely a tipping point at which e-commerce agencies and brands in general should be moving from full service into more boutique, pure, expertise-driven agencies. And that's what I realized. That's what I wanted to make sure that we helped start from a paid media perspective. That's what gets me excited. That's what I want to continue working on. And so that's how QRY came to be. We are a paid media agency for e-commerce brands. We help brands really understand what it takes to grow, and then we create all the rigor and organizational tools around it to make sure that it's consistently happening.
So what inspired you to, working for a brand like American Express? That's a pretty good job. What inspired you to, branch out on your own?
Yeah, entrepreneurship is in my blood. My dad owned his own business. My sister owns her own business. So being at the dinner table, not being able to speak to that was kind of just, it was going to happen sooner or later. So here I am. But there is something really amazing about being able to actually help some of our brands grow. And there's a pride that comes along with it. So there's nothing more exciting than going to a friend's house and seeing that they own one of our clients and being able to say, hey, we're helping create this household name. And that's really special. And that's exciting.
So you learned while you were at American Express that it's important to kind of focus in on your specific area of expertise rather than having a one size fits all type company or a full service company, or did you figure that out afterward?
Yeah, I figured that out while I was there because that's how a lot of the Fortune 500s work, right? So they'll have a dedicated creative agency, they'll have a dedicated media agency, they'll have a dedicated data analytics agency, an affiliate agency. And, the reason for that is, there's some elements of bureaucracy and ownership internal that there are individual people that want to own these relationships. But what I identified is that when you bring all of these people together, there's this element of attention that gets created that leads to the best outcomes. So I'll give you a perfect example. we partner with a lot of creative agencies pretty regularly because we don't create creative. We'll brief the creative agency and say, hey, here's what the data is showing us. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we see. But the creative agency is in charge of building long-term brand, building a brand community, building brand elements. And so the tension between what might be working in the short term from a revenue driver and the long-term brand connection and that brand visual identity, that tension together leads to the best creatives where we kind of get the best of both worlds. Versus if you give a performance media agency all your money and say, hey, go make creative, you're going to get creative that has 30% off, 25% off, sales work, or really loud, no brand identity because we're testing everything and nothing is sacred. And so I think that balance between the two is really key for being able to help grow a brand consistently. And so when we identified that, especially for mid-market agencies, that's where we said, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do really well. Because that's what the Fortune 500's doing. They're doing a great job at it.
What would you say? So now you're kind of 5 years into it. What would you say is the main reason why people come to you for what you do? Is there anything that kind of, what is it that sets you guys apart from somebody else or is different?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that. So we've been doing this for 5 years now. So we've had the opportunity to really create a lot of that rigor and expertise that a lot of brands are missing. I think the biggest thing that holds mid-market brands or even just high-growth e-com brands from growing consistently is they are very tactically focused. It's what is that growth hack that we're going to do today? What is that ad setup that we're going to do today that's going to suddenly lead to revenue? And you might get this really nice spike, but then you're going to, as that tactic doesn't work anymore, you're going to kind of flatline out or even retreat back. And so what our agency does is we help our clients really understand what the core fundamentals for media buying is. How do you actually invest in full funnel paid media campaigns? So from brand awareness to product consideration all the way down to conversion. So really helping you understand what your return on ad spend should be, what your budget should be, and then actually activating against it. And we've created over the last 5 years a lot of tools and systems and processes to make sure that we're consistently doing that. So why do clients come to us? We've got a lot of the systems in place so they don't have to build them, right? And that's what you want from an agency. You want someone that's going to help you say, this is how you should be doing it. This is the process. This is what we implement. And this is what works. And are you thinking about it this way? And if not, how can we help you think about it that way? Or how can we help make the case for this? And so that's our core expertise. We're really thinking, 12-month forecasting, simple things like that, to learning agendas. What are we A/B testing to help drive that incremental growth? All the way down to the actual tactical management of things. How are we actually setting up campaigns? What are the audiences? Why are they the audience? What are the keywords that we're going to be targeting? And then ultimately reporting back out on creative. How are we actually thinking about what's working, what's not working? How do we get more of that? How do we help you guys think through, okay, this is what our offer is going to be. This is where we're budgeting. How are we taking all those learnings and kind of feeding it back into that strategy? So our 3-part is strategy, execute, report. And those 3 together kind of create this cycle where we're able to consistently grow and revisit what we're doing and how we're doing it.
So has that process really evolved since day one 5 years ago?
It's always evolving, is what I'd like to say. That's the other element of it. The beauty of being a part of an agency is that you've got a team that's dedicated to just evolving the process and making sure that we're consistently getting better, especially in a world like paid advertising and digital advertising where it is changing, day by day, week by week, month by month. And so, yes, it has evolved. It continues to evolve. It gets better every time. And we have the luxury of looking across so many different brands and being able to see what works across so many different brands. What that also means is we get to see the pain points across so many different brands. So it allows us to say, hey, brand A over here has this pain point. Brand B doesn't have it yet. well, let's solve it for brand A and apply it to brand B so they never have the pain point to begin with. And so I think the best agencies are really thinking through, how do you put out fires before there are fires? And it's really about being preventative versus, reactionary. And that's what we get to do a lot of. And our focus allows us to do it really well. Because again, like we're not a full service agency, so I'm not serving creative problems and development problems. We also work with one type of client. We only work with e-commerce brands. So I know every e-com problem that you're going to have before you know it. I promise.
What is it about e-com brands that are particularly attractive for you to service?
Yeah, it's funny because you would think coming from American Express, I would have done financial services and just been like deep into finance. But there's something really amazing about being able to buy our clients' products and see it and have that physical element of it. There's also something really amazing about knowing that we get to connect people with the things that make them happy, right? We get to buy really cool. We get to help people buy like new fashion, new beauty, new electronics, home furnishings. We do a lot of, which is fun. So there is this element of just being able to be a part of that, and it feels real and it feels very fulfilling, I think is the best way to say it.
Great. So you found your kind of area of expertise. You've honed in on a process that's ever evolving, but you have one. What are some successes that you're particularly proud of, or that are memorable for you?
Yeah,
during this past.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. We've had a lot of successes over the years, and there's a few that kind of stand out. And the beauty of it is we get to try all kinds of new things, and a lot of our clients are always open to trying things, and it's kind of built into the way we build our campaigns too, right? Like, we'll set aside budgets for experimentation, and so we've had a few clients where we set aside budgets for experimentation, and suddenly they're seeing great results from some experiment. And like, we tested TikTok for one of our clients. The next thing you know, they're getting a 30x return from TikTok, and they're very excited about it. And now we're scaling it. That was a double-edged sword, because if you know anything about QRY, we don't believe in very high return on ad spends. That generally means you're underinvested in a channel. So as soon as we saw that, we're like, oh, we should be spending more money here, and let's scale this as quickly as possible. And so that's what we did, and that client is killing it. But then we've had other clients where we've helped brands launch into a new space that they didn't exist in anymore. We've been able to help them build brand awareness and build a brand lift. We supported a client, Delsey, they're a luggage brand. When we helped take over their campaigns, we were able to grow their revenues almost 140%. And it's because we really implemented this full funnel campaign strategy. So helping them really think about where are they getting new customers from? How are they introducing their brand to new audiences? And then how are we following those customers and those audiences through the entire buying cycle? And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of brands make, is that they only focus on pieces of the buying cycle instead of really thinking about it holistically. And then, as e-com is starting to change, as consumer behavior is starting to change, omnichannel is becoming an even bigger element of it. So how much of our brand awareness budget is leading people to then purchase in store or from a retailer, not online, and then really thinking through the measurements of that and recognizing that is still a key piece of the entire buying cycle. We've had to really think through that for a lot of our brands, and Delsey is one of those where we had that experience.
At what stage of an e-commerce brand's development or life cycle would you say is ideal for them to come to you? Like they're like, okay, we're at this point. Yeah. Now we need QRY.
Yeah, if you are so the best stage is there's probably 3 trigger points. I'd say one trigger point is you've reached a stage where you're probably spending $100,000 to $150,000 a month in advertising, and you've plateaued, and you just really can't figure out how to break through it. That's generally the point at which we see that happen. And so bringing on an agency like us allows you to actually see the forecast. And the reason why I say 100 to 150 is a lot of e-commerce brands can tactically get to 100 to $150,000, and they're used to these like really big spikes, because you'll come up with a tactical thing that works and it'll allow you to scale up real fast, and then you'll come back down and then you'll scale back up real fast. And so you'll putter around this like $100 to $150,000 in media spend every month, and but you just can't break through it because you're not incrementally growing. So that's one. The second piece of it is you've either brought on new investors, or you've done something like you have cash and you need to be able to reach a certain revenue target in the future, and you're willing to make those investments to get there. That's another element of it. That's another area that we generally get brought in. And then the third one is you may be working with an agency that you're just really unhappy with. Like, are you spending $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 all the way up to $1 million a month, and you just need a level of expertise. You need someone that really understands e-com. You need someone that can really think through, okay, inventory's out of stock. What's that going to do to our forecast? Or, we really need to hit our forecasts because there's cash flow implications for us. Things like that. That's where we come in and can help clients really switch from a paid media agency to an e-com media agency. And we bring out a little bit of really understanding that a lot of other agencies don't bring.
Okay, great. Hey, let's talk a little bit about your podcast, Ecom Experiences. Yeah. What has made you decide to start this?
One of our ethos is to always stay curious and always ask questions. And so it was pretty easy to say, hey, how come we aren't asking questions and publishing them? We ask our clients questions, we're asking brands questions all the time. So why not take an opportunity and share that? So starting the podcast because a lot of e-com founders, a lot of e-com marketing leaders have really cool stories and they do some really cool things. And I'd love to share those with the world. It's pretty much what was the impetus.
Why do you feel like curiosity is such an important thing?
Especially in the marketing world where, we spoke about this a few minutes ago, where everything is changing all the time and sitting still is not an option. Asking the questions why and being curious leads to innovation. When you ask questions, you start to see things from other people's perspective. You get to hear what other people are doing, you get to learn what's going on. And then you take it back and you apply it to what you're doing. But it's not only a matter of saying, hey, I heard that experience, or I heard that and I learned that, and I'm going to do exactly that. It's you take that back and you adapt it to your business. And then that becomes the next cool thing that I want to learn about and I want to hear about and I want to be able to take back to my business and apply it. So I think it's this asking questions, sharing experiences, adapting it to what we do that leads to a lot of the innovation that we see in marketing. And I think it's key. If you don't do that, again, you're just standing still. You're going to get left behind.
You kind of answered this question, but who do you think would most benefit from hearing this podcast?
Yeah, I think if you're an e-com founder or marketing leader, you're going to love this. But I think a lot of other, if you're just starting in marketing too, if you're just getting started, just graduate college, you're interested in e-com advertising, e-com marketing as a whole, I think you'll learn a lot too. Again, you're going to have opportunity to hear from some of the best leaders in the industry, and it'll be really cool to hear kind of how they got there, what they're doing, and what advice they might have for new marketing leaders too.
Okay, awesome. Well, we will certainly look forward to hearing future episodes. Hey, Samir, it's been great to talk to you today. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, Chad.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. If you liked it, remember to subscribe so you'll be notified of new episodes. And if you know someone who would enjoy this show, don't forget to share and leave a review. It all helps us impact more brands. If you're looking to improve your paid media, go to weareqry.com and schedule a consultation. We're always happy to chat. See you for the next one.